So the question over here is champagne tower, and essentially what's happening over here is that we have to track how much champagne flows into each glass, and it can exceed 1. So rather than how full it is, so each glass will hold a capacity of 1. Anything above that overflows. So when a glass receives more than 1 cup, like over here, the excess amount is whatever the amount is poured into it minus 1. Then this excess amount is then split equally into 2 cups, which is right below it. So if we look at the code over here, I am starting with the initializing the current row. Now this is the starting state, and row 0 has exactly 1 glass and all the champagne goes into it. So we represent that row as a list with a single element equal to poured, and throughout the code the current row always holds the total amount of champagne that flowed into each glass of the row that we are currently looking at. Then for row in range query row, so this loops once per row. Now if the query is 2, this runs from 0, row equals to 0 and row equals to 1, so 2 steps, because 0 to 1 and then 1 to 2. Then next row is 0 times row plus 2. So before distributing overflow, we create the row below filled with zeros so we can add into it. Now the size row plus 2 is the count of glasses in the next row. So when row equals to 0, we are building row 1, which will have 2 glasses. And when row equals to 1, we are building row 2, which has 3 glasses. Then for call in range length of the current row, so we walk across every glass in the current row so we can push each one's overflow downward. And length of the current row is just the number of glasses in this row. Then we have overflow. So overflow is the max of 0, current row, the column that we are at, minus 1. So this computes how much champagne spills out of this glass. So a glass holds 1 cup, so anything beyond 1 is the current row of this column minus 1. And this max over here, it handles the case where the glass isn't even full. So in that case, the current row minus 1 is negative, and we want the overflow to be 0 and not a negative number. So this is handled over here. Now if your overflow is greater than 0, so if there is anything to spill, it then splits equally into the 2 glasses directly below. So the one at the same index, which is like the column, and the down left, and the next one is the next one over, so call plus 1, and the down right, and each of them gets a half. So over here is plus equals, because the middle glass in the next row, like over here, it receives from 2 glasses above it, and those 2 contributions accumulate here across different iterations of the loop. Then you have current equals to next row. So once every glass in the current row has poured its overflow down, the row below becomes the new current row, and the outer loop repeats 1 level deeper. And over here, return is minimum of 1 or current row of this query glass. So after the loop finishes, the current row holds the amounts for every query row. Now we look up the specific glass by index, and since that value might be greater than 1, a glass can be we cap it with minimum 1.0, because a glass can be at mostly full, and we just return it.